Hi there, Danny Griffin with another update for the RealtyClassroom.com. And today I have with me a report from CBS News that's really trying to make a housing prediction for 2012. Well, that's a pretty difficult thing to do. We know that predicting anything in the future is difficult. There's so many moving parts. You really can't hold everything steady. But one of the things you want to highlight in your mind's eye is the psychology of the market. Now, that's going to be impossible to track or really wrap some parameters around, but you can look for evidence as to its improvement. I think that's important. One of the things that really has been a big psychological barrier to housing recovery has been the unemployment rate. Now, the good news is that it dipped down to 18.6, and of course you could use the other measurement that talks about who's really in the workforce, who's not, and that could be as high as 16%. But I think the trend is downwards, and I think that's the first time we're really beginning to see a tick backwards in that unemployment rate, and that's a good thing. Psychologically speaking, even for those who are employed, so that they feel like there is a bottom for the economy in general. That gives them more confidence in the stability of their own job. They start to think less and less that they might join the unemployed sometime soon. So that's point number one. Number two is Fannie Mae's November National Housing Survey found that homeowners believe that their home value will rise 0.2% over the next year. Now, that's a great sign, and that's the first time that that's been seen in the last 6 months. So again, 6 months of a negative belief that housing prices were continuing to slip. Now the psychology is going in the other direction. Ultimately, you certainly can mention that the interest rates are just fantastic. Under 4% for the 30-year fixed, and if you're willing to go to 15, 3 to 3.25%. I just phenomenally cheap money. In addition to that, at the height of the quote-unquote Great Recession, nearly 70% of homeowners were at least 60 days late on their mortgage payments, according to TransUnion, and now they're starting to fall towards 6%. And you'll actually see, according to this, perhaps 5%. So again, can anybody predict the exact number? Of course not. But I think what's important here is there is a trend towards the positive of all of these types of measurements, which clearly improves psychology. Now, if you're a first-time home buyer, or you're, more importantly, a realtor working with first-home home buyers, you want to prepare them for living in the future. Their perception is that it's easy to go out and negotiate a deal right now that's a fantastic deal with these low rates, maybe a year ago, but not so much today. We know that in our own market, one of our first home buyers lost out to 5 competing offers, many of them cash investors, whose psychology has also improved, and they're willing to come in because they're feeling that we're at least bouncing along the bottom. When will we predict an upswing in the market? Who knows? If you look at the last correction in the early 90s, you saw very, very slow and steady progress throughout that decade, really as housing paced itself close to inflation, 2.74%, until the craziness that happened late in 1999 when regulations were eased on commercial banking. So look for more positive news. Get those first-home home buyers or anybody else pre-approved. Have them ready to play the game, because it's going to get more competitive as we begin to move the housing market back towards the upside. I'm Danny Griffin with another RealtyClassroom.com update. I will see you here next time, and thanks for joining us.